The 5 signs that you have no financial plan. Hey folks, I'm Daniel. Let's dig into it. Starting with number 1 is not tracking your net worth. There's simply no way to know how you're doing if you're not tracking your net worth. This isn't a number you walk around sharing with other people, and there's no shame in it if you're not thrilled at what you find. The only way you'll get better is if you know where you stand. Net worth is simply your assets, which are what you own, minus your liabilities, which are what you owe. Sites like Empower and Mint make it really easy to track this. Sure, you might even start low or even in the negative, but that's how you learn and get better. As you build up the right habits and start improving your finances with the right decisions, the right approach, the increases will start to accelerate. As with many things in life, it takes a while to build up momentum. There's just something about keeping track of things, even if it's once a year, that will cause you to want to get better. For those younger than 35, the median net worth is $14,000 and the average is $76,000. For those 35 to 44 years old, the median net worth is $91,000 and the average is $436,000. So ask yourself where you fall and would you like to increase that number? Okay, the next sign that you might not have a financial plan is if you've not calculated your retirement number. How can you know if you're on track for retirement if you don't know your number? You'll often see different formulas for this. One of the most common is this one from Fidelity, where they give you a timeline and it's kind of like a pacing guide. It goes in increments of 5 years until 60. You want 1 times your annual salary at 30, 2 times at 35, 3 times at 40, and so on, with the end goal to be 10 times your annual salary by age 67. Fidelity has a massive amount of data to pull from, so I think this is a good benchmark. And it's also relatable because it can give you a pacing guide as you work your way through the process. Another way to figure out this number is the 25x number. Instead of a pacing guide, this is just a flat number that we take our total annual expenses and multiply it times 25 to get a retirement number. So if your monthly expenses are $5,000, that means that you need $60,000 a year. Take that number, multiply it times 25, and you get 1.5 million needed at retirement. This number might seem a bit simplistic, and although I think it does oversimplify things, it's not without its merits. It comes from this research paper done in 1999 that looked at sustainable withdrawal rates from your retirement portfolio, which is really long and not at all catchy or easy to remember. So everyone just calls it the Trinity study out of Trinity University in Texas. What they did was run simulations for retirement portfolios using historical data, and they used different time horizons. They found that for a 30-year retirement at a 4% withdrawal rate and a portfolio that was 50-50 stocks and bonds, 100% of the time the portfolio supported the retiree throughout the retirement. If you up the withdrawal rate from 4% to 5%, the success rate of their study dropped significantly to 68%. There are other factors such as 35 and 40-year time horizons, greater amounts of stocks versus bonds, and so on. There is an endless number of variables, and this study is now nearly 25 years old, but it's been the standard for retirement planning. And that's where the 25 times your expenses number comes from. 1 out of 25 is 4%. Real quick folks, you deserve the absolute best content. If you're getting value out of this video, do me a favor and hit the like button. If you're here, it's because you want to improve your finances, and I want to help as many people as possible with making good financial decisions. Okay, third is we're trying to manage our debt versus eliminating it completely, and this excludes a mortgage. Believe me, I get this. When I was in my 20s, I'd married young, dropped out of college, then went back, but still had student loans and car payments and credit cards. It's no fun, and when you're desperate, you'll try just about anything. But debt management or even debt consolidation is just a band-aid on a much bigger problem. It's tempting to think that by consolidating your debt, you're accomplishing something. Unfortunately, until your debts are paid off, you've not really accomplished the most important thing that you can, and that is to free yourself from this tremendous weight that's keeping you from making any progress in your finances. Debt is often a symptom of our behaviors. Consolidating your debt without forever changing your financial behavior is just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. Even if you're not considering consolidating, making the minimum payment guarantees maximum profitability for the bank. Okay, next is if your car payment is larger than your retirement contributions. This one might sting a little bit with new car prices being absolutely out of control. Just a decade ago, the average new car transaction was just over $30,000. Now it's nearly $50,000. Before you argue that it must be rich people making these purchases and that this is the natural byproduct of people building wealth, the highest amount of car debt is for those that are between the ages of 30 and 50. Typically, the highest levels of wealth are reached in the 55 to 75 age range. Debt is the inverse of wealth. If we compare the average new car payment of $777 to what a typical retirement contribution is for this age range, it's just 8% according to Fidelity. Add in the employer match and the typical contribution is still only about 14%. If you're a car person, more power to you. No judgment here, but a car is a depreciating asset. I've never owned a car worth more than $17,000. I've always prioritized paying down debts, contributions to my Roth IRA, and my 401k. If you've never lived without a car payment, I encourage you to try try it. It's wonderful. All right, and the fifth and last one is you don't know your monthly margin. There's no way you can truly know how much margin you have in a monthly basis unless you actively manage your monthly cash flow. I use every dollar and I highly recommend it. If you want to make progress on anything I've discussed in this video, such as reaching a retirement number, increasing your net worth, or getting out of debt, it all starts with maximizing your monthly margin. This is the key to wealth. It's not how much you make, it's how much you save. When I see articles like this one where 60% of millennials earning six figures are living paycheck to paycheck, or this one where 1/3 of Americans making $250,000 are living paycheck to paycheck, this just blows my mind. Look, I get that if you live in New York and San Francisco, these cities have obscene cost of living, but math is still math. If you make 100, find a way to live on 50. If you make 150, see if you can live on 75. Otherwise, lifestyle creep will kick in and you'll not even know it if you're not aware of your monthly margin. All right, folks, that wraps it up for today. Thanks for spending time with me. Until next time.